Welcome back. So in the last video, we talked about how your parents taught you what love is, how you learned by watching them what to expect from relationships, how you absorbed unconscious patterns about love, safety, connection, and how those patterns are still running in your relationships today. Now, we're going to talk about how those parent patterns show up as triggers, because your triggers aren't random. They're not accidents. They're breadcrumbs, leading you back to the original wound, back to what you learned from your parents about love. So this video is about understanding triggers, what they actually are, and why they're so specific, and how to use them as a roadmap back to the wound so you can finally heal it. Let's dive in. So part one, what triggers actually are. So a trigger is when something in the present activates a wound from the past. It's when your nervous system says, this feeling equals that feeling. This situation equals that situation. This person pulling away equals mum or dad pulling away. And suddenly you're not responding to what's happening now, you're responding to what happened then. Your 4-year-old nervous system takes over again. And you react as if the original abandonment is happening all over again. So here's the key. Triggers are specific. They're not random. They're not triggered by everything. You're triggered by very specific cues that remind your nervous system of the original wound. Let me give you an example. So let's say as a child, when your dad got quiet and distant, it meant he was about to withdraw, okay? It meant he was pulling away emotionally. It meant you were about to be abandoned. So your nervous system learned silence equals danger. Distance equals abandonment. So when he goes quiet, I'm not safe. And so now as an adult, when your partner gets quiet, maybe they're just tired. Maybe, they're processing something. Maybe they're perfectly fine, but your nervous system doesn't care about logic. It feels that silence, that distance, and it says, this is the thing, this is the threat. We learn this, and you panic. So that is a trigger. It's not about what's actually happening now. It's about what your body remembers from back then. So triggers are breadcrumbs, leading you back to the original wound. So let's talk about the most common triggers for anxious attachment. Again, these aren't random. They're specific. Specific reminders of the root of abandonment. Okay? So trigger one, someone needs space. They say, I need space alone time, or I need space to think. And your nervous system hears, I'm leaving. You're too much. I can't handle you. But as a child, when people needed space from you, it felt like rejection. Trigger number two, no text back for hours. They don't respond for 3, 4, 6 hours. And your mind spirals. They're pulling away. They're losing interest. They're done with me. Because as a child, when your parent was unavailable, when you couldn't reach them, it felt like abandonment. And trigger three is, your partner seems distant or withdraw. They're quiet. They're in their head. They're not as engaged. And you immediately think like something's wrong. They're upset with me, they're leaving. Because as a child, emotional distance meant love was going away. Let's just say trigger number 4, plans change last minute. They cancel, they reschedule, something comes up. And you feel crushed, rejected, like you didn't matter. Because as a child, inconsistency meant you couldn't trust them to show up. Trigger number 5, let's say feeling like you're too much. You express a need, you're emotional, you take up space, and you immediately feel like you've done something wrong. Like you need to pull back, apologize, make yourself smaller. Because as a child, you learned that your needs, your emotions, your fullness was too much. So do you see the pattern here? These triggers aren't random. They're all pointing back to the same wound. The fear of abandonment, the fear of being too much, the fear that love is conditional and can be taken away at any moment. That's what your triggers are telling you. So here's what I want you to do. Just start paying attention to your specific triggers. Because while there are common patterns, your triggers are unique to your wound. So you need to ask yourself, what specifically sets me off? Is it silence, distance, tone of voice, a look on their face? Is it when they're too busy, or when they don't initiate, when they seem distracted? Like, really get specific here. When do I feel most anxious in my relationships? What situations? What moments? What behaviors? And what do these triggers remind me of? Can I see a connection to my childhood? Did mum do this? Did dad do this? And what did I learn about love when this thing happened? So your triggers are showing you exactly where your wound is. They're not the enemy, they are the roadmap. So pay attention. Now, here's something really important. There is a difference between being triggered and being disrespected. And you need to know the difference. Because if you can't tell the difference, you will either dismiss real boundary violations as just my triggers, or you'll react to everything as if it's a threat when it's actually just your wound being activated. So, triggered means your past wound is activated. Something in the present reminds you of the past, but the person isn't actually doing anything harmful. For example, your partner says, I need an hour to myself. You feel panic, but they're not doing anything wrong. They're setting a healthy boundary. You are triggered because needing space activates your abandonment wound, okay? So that's a trigger. Disrespected means our actual boundary violations happening in the present. This isn't about your past wound. This is about something harmful happening now. For example, your partner consistently cancels plans last minute without apology. They dismiss your feelings when you bring it up. They make you feel like your needs are the problem. That's not a trigger, that's disrespect. That's an actual boundary violation, and you have every right to address it. So, how do you tell the difference? Ask yourself these questions. Number one, is the behavior actually harmful, or does it just feel harmful because of my past? Harmful equals dismissing your feelings, lying, breaking agreements, stonewalling, gaslighting. And not harmful equals needing space, being quiet, having a bad day, not texting back immediately. So would a securely attached person be okay with this? If yes, it's probably a trigger. If no, it's probably disrespect. Number three, am I reacting to what's happening now or to what happened then? So if you're reacting to then, your childhood wound is a trigger. And if you're reacting to now, present harm is disrespect. So this is critical. This is critical because you don't want to tolerate disrespect just because you think everything is your trigger. And you don't want to make everything a boundary violation when really it's your wound being activated. So learn to tell the difference. So here's what you need to understand. Triggers are information, not emergencies. So when you get triggered, your nervous system treats it like a crisis, like something catastrophic is about to happen. But it's not. A trigger is your body saying, hey, this feeling is familiar. We learned this was dangerous. Pay attention. It's information. It's showing you where you still have healing to do. It's showing you what your nervous system is still afraid of. But it's not an emergency. So the problem is that when you're in the trigger, it feels like an emergency. Your body is screaming like, do something, fix this, make it stop. And so you react. That's why you text 10 times, you demand reassurance, you shut down, you freeze. You do something to try to ease the panic. But here's the truth. The panic isn't because of what's happening now. The panic is because your body thinks what happened then is happening again. And it's not. So when you get triggered, pause. Don't treat it like an emergency. Treat it like information. Oh, is my body activated? Oh, my body is being touched. This is showing me where I still need to heal. This is information, not crisis. So here's how you use triggers as a roadmap. Step number one, notice the trigger. I'm feeling anxious, my chest is tight, I want to text them 10 times. Number two, name it. I'm triggered. And step three, ask, what is this really about? What does this remind me of? When did I feel this before? And what did I learn as a child when this happened? So let me give you an example here. Your partner doesn't text back for 6 hours, okay? So you're spiraling, you want to text them, you want reassurance. You want to know, hey, they're not leaving. So then you're going to pause, you're going to ask yourself, what does this remind me of? Maybe it reminds me of when your dad would disappear for hours. emotionally or physically, and you never knew if he was coming back. And what did I learn when this happened? I learned that when people disappear, they might not come back. I learned that I'm not safe when I can't reach them. So that's the wound. That's what this trigger is showing you. It's not about the text. It's about the childhood wound that taught you, when they're unavailable, I'm abandoned. Now you know. Now you can work with that wound. You can speak to your inner child. You're safe. I'm here. We're not four anymore. They're just busy. They're coming back. You can regulate your body. You can respond instead of react, because you've used the trigger as a map. So let's talk about the cycle that keeps you stuck. Step one, the trigger. Something happens, someone pulls away, they don't text back, they seem distant. Step two, reaction. Your nervous system takes over. You think 10 times, you text 10 times, you demand reassurance, you shut down, you freeze. You're not responding from wholeness, you're reacting from the wound. Step three is the regret. Later, once you calm down, you think, oh, why did I do that? Why did I send those texts? Why did I freak out? And you beat yourself up. And then you do it again, the next time you're triggered. So this is the cycle: trigger, reaction, regret, repeat. And the only way to break the cycle is creating space between the trigger and the reaction. So here's what you do when you get triggered. This is the process that breaks the cycle. Step one, pause. Don't react immediately. Don't text. Don't call. Don't reach out. Just pause. Even if it's just 30 seconds. Even if every part of you is screaming to do something, pause. Step two, breathe. Regulate your nervous system. Deep breathing through your nose. Slow breaths out through your mouth. You can do this 5 to 10 times. And this tells your body, we're safe. This isn't an emergency. Step three, locate. Where do you feel the trigger in your body? Your chest, your stomach, your throat, your jaw. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to make it go away. Just locate it. I feel tightness in my chest. I feel a knot in my stomach. Number four, you're going to ask yourself, how old am I right now? Am I 4 years old or 35 at my current age? Is this about now or is this about then? So this brings your adult brain back online, which reminds you, I'm not a child anymore. I'm safe. I have options. Step number five is to respond. Only now though, do you decide how to respond. Maybe reach out and express a need. Hey, I'm feeling anxious. Can we talk? Maybe you realize you don't need to reach out at all. You're just triggered and you can regulate yourself. Maybe you set a boundary. I need more consistency in communication. But whatever you do it from a regulated place, from wholeness, and not from the wound. So this is how you break the cycle. Pause, breathe, locate, ask, respond. Body first, always, then respond. So this week, you're going to track your triggers. In your daily triggers awareness assignment, you're going to write down what triggered you, how intense it was, what energy dynamic you went into, protest, withdraw, freeze, where you felt it in your body, and what it reminded you of from childhood. So your triggers are showing you exactly where you still need to heal. They're not the enemy, the roadmap back to the wound. So pay attention, see them clearly, and start using them as information instead of treating them like emergencies. I'll see you in the next video.